What's going on, YouTube? This is Unger to the Max here. Salute! So, a few weeks ago, I announced the next two arenas on my quest to see a game at every NBA team's arena. Arena number 19, the Wells Fargo Center, home of the Philadelphia 76ers. And then arena number 20. I still can't believe we're on arena number 20. The Capital One Arena of the Washington Wizards. But many of you guys were asking, well, what arenas have you seen before? And which arenas did you like and which arenas did you not like? So, that's what this first part of this live stream of my sports vlog is going to be about. Is recapping the order of my NBA trips that I do with my dad, primarily during spring break, and telling you which maybe I won't do which arenas and I like and don't like, because I don't want to offend, I don't want to offend a team's fan base in any way. I'm not trying to do that. No way. So, I don't think I'll say, oh, I liked this arena more than this arena. Because, again, I don't want to offend a team's fan base. So, let me get started. So, here's how this is going to work. I'll tell you, I will say what team it was, their arena, who they played, and whether they won or lost. Okay. So, I'm still not sure if I want to count the Cavs as the start of this or not, because I haven't done an official trip with them for the Cavs yet. So, for now, I'll hold off and say that the start of it was the Brooklyn Nets. So, the Brooklyn Nets were playing the Chicago Bulls at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. So, the Nets used to be in New Jersey and were the New Jersey Nets, which I wish they still were the New Jersey Nets. But the owner of the Nets decided to move them to Brooklyn. And Barclays Center was really dark. It's all black. The Nets logo is black and white, but the arena has no color. It's very dark. It was kind of a dreary arena. But anyway, the Nets, I do remember the scores on some of these games. Not all of them, but some of them I do. And this is one of those. The Nets lost this game to the Chicago Bulls by 7, 99-92. So the second game was the New York Knicks at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. And they were playing the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, this was before Madison Square Garden went through the arena renovations. So the Jumbotron was still old-fashioned. Well, yeah. But I still liked it. It was bright. The inside was bright. You know, there were banners everywhere. Well, not a lot, actually, but a fair amount. It seemed like there were more New York Rangers banners, actually. But the Knicks won that game against the Bucks. I do not remember the score. So then, after doing the two New York teams, me and my dad, because I do these trips with him, we decided to do the 4 California teams next. Starting with the Golden State Warriors, who had not made it to the finals yet. I think this was in 2013. So, as we know, Oracle Arena now is one of the loudest arenas in the NBA, if not the loudest. Well, at this game, I was expecting Oracle Arena to be loud and rocking because the Warriors had made the playoffs last season, eliminated the Denver Nuggets. So I thought, or maybe that was, I don't remember off the top of my head. But it was a big game because it was the Spurs coming in, and the Spurs were on a crazy win streak. But the crowd was kind of eh. It was okay. I'm like, where's the... Sorry, Warriors fans, if I'm offending you at all. So I kind of rescind my statement about not talking about what I'm not good at. Never mind. But anyway, the crowd was kind of eh. And maybe that was because the Warriors weren't shooting the ball that well that night. I remember they were missing shots left and right. But it was still a fairly close game. I don't remember the score, but I do remember that San Antonio won that game and their win streak continued. So the next arena after Oracle was Sacramento. Now, at the time, Sacramento was not in Golden One Center because that's virtually brand new. After Seattle had tried to bring the Kings to Seattle, but the city of Sacramento stepped up and kept the Kings in Sacramento and built them a new arena. But anyway, so at the time when me and my dad did this California trip, Sacramento was playing at Sleep Train Arena. Oh my God. Sleep Train Arena was one of the saddest things I have ever seen. Literally, this was the arena. There was nothing around it except fields. Nothing else. What the heck? And on the inside, it was pathetic. The Kings were doing bad, so there was like no fans there, like a few thousand at that. They were playing the Milwaukee Bucks, so that's the second time I've seen the Bucks. And the Kings won that game. So then, after the game, I was looking, and I saw that the Clippers were playing the Bucks the next night in Los Angeles. Well, we were already going to go to Los Angeles for a Lakers game, but then we're like, why don't we go to Staples Center a night early and go see the Clippers? So that's what we did the very next night. So I consider Staples Center to be two separate arenas. I consider the Clippers and Lakers, even though they share the same arena, to be two separate arenas. Because when we went there to Staples Center for the Clippers, it was all Clipper stuff. And then when we went to Staples Center the next night for the Lakers, it was all Lakers. Just like MetLife Stadium. How when it's a Giants home game, everything is Giants. You won't find anything New York Jets. But when the Jets are the home team, it's all New York Jets. So, like I said, the first night we went to Staples Center, it was the Clippers. And this was before the Clippers had the new logo. It was the old-fashioned Clippers written out. And they were playing the Bucks. And the Clippers won. But the next night was the Lakers. Oh, wait. Before I move on from the Clippers. The Clippers a few years ago, the Clippers decided that they were not going to show the Lakers banners during their home games, which I understand. And I think that's a smart decision. Why show the Lakers banners when you're the Clippers? I mean, they could serve as motivation, don't get me wrong, but anyway. So the Clippers instead covered up the banners with huge portraits of Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, JJ Redick, Chris Paul. It was actually pretty cool. But the next night was the Lakers, so the Lakers banners were showing. Oh, also, both nights the Kings Stanley Cup banner from 2012, I think, was showing. Yes. I think we went the year they won the 2014 banner, so that banner was not up yet. So the Lakers were playing the New York Knicks. And what was cool about this game was that was the first game that Phil Jackson was back in LA as the Knicks president. But the Lakers did not show him on the Jumbotron. They did not make any mention of him being in the arena. Nothing. So, but the Lakers had so many injuries. Kobe was out. And yet somehow they still dominated the Knicks. So the Lakers won that game. Next up was AT&T Center and the San Antonio Spurs. So we did the Texas three-step. It went San Antonio, to Houston to Dallas. I might have done that wrong. So we started with San Antonio, who were the defending NBA champions, I think. Yes. So it was 2014. So maybe the Kings banner was showing. I don't remember off the top of my head. Sorry about that. But the Spurs were playing the Memphis Grizzlies. And the Spurs won that game. And my favorite player on the Spurs is Danny Green. But he did not play that well that night, I don't think. He's usually like a specialist from shooting threes. If I recall, I don't think he did that well. I don't remember though. So the next arena number 9, was Toyota Center in downtown Houston for the Houston Rockets, which I love that name. It's perfect because Kennedy Space Center is in Houston, which I saw. The Saturn V is in that place. That is the Saturn V is huge. It's probably a couple football fields long. But anyway, back to the Houston Rockets. So they were playing Sacramento, and James Harden put up a 50-burger, meaning he put up 50 points. I think he might have put up like 54 or something. So maybe a little bit more. But it was actually a close game, but the Rockets won. So the next night, we saw the Rockets again, but this time in Dallas against the Mavericks at American Airlines Center in Dallas. And the Rockets won that game. It was Rajon Rondo bobblehead night for the Mavericks too, but the Rockets spoiled that. So the next arena we went to, we actually did this during winter break, was the Orlando Magic. And they were playing their division rivals, the Atlanta Hawks. And it came down to the wire. And the Hawks won that game thanks to a Kyle Korver game-winning three-pointer. I do have footage of that game, actually. So check that out. But at the time, Korver was playing for the Hawks. And this was at Amway Center. So, a little side note. On that same trip when we saw the Orlando Magic, we also saw our first ever NHL game. And that was at Amalie Arena in Tampa Bay, where we saw the Tampa Bay Lightning play the Vancouver Canucks. And the Canucks won that game 2-1. So I'll include the NHL in this as well. So after Orlando with the NBA, me and my dad went, and my whole family actually, went up to Detroit for a Pistons game. However, I count this game for the Pistons as both a loss and a win. Why? Because we were there to see the Pistons, but who were they playing? Right here. My home team, your 2016 NBA champion, Cleveland Cavaliers. So, we had to go pro Cavaliers. There's no way I'm going to root against my team, even in somebody else's building. No way. So, I rooted for my home team. So, that's why in my list, which I have right here, sorry you can't see it that well, but I have a list of all the NBA teams we've seen and in the order. I have L, like this, /, and then W. So after Detroit, we saw the Toronto Raptors at Air Canada Center. This was, so far, the Raptors crowd was the most passionate fan base I've seen yet. So, Philadelphia and Washington, let's see if you can match Toronto. Because right now, they're the most passionate fan base I've seen. And the Raptors were playing the Jazz. And the Raptors won that game. So the night after the Raptors game, me and my dad saw our second NHL game. And it was the Toronto Maple Leafs against the Minnesota Wild. Once again at Air Canada Center. And once again, the away team won by the same score as the first NHL game when the Canucks beat the Lightning 2-1. Minnesota won against Toronto 2-1. I'm still waiting to go to a Columbus Blue Jackets game. But there's a third NHL game coming. But anyway, let's get back to it. So our next NBA game was also a winter break game, just like Orlando was. And Toronto was a spring break trip. But anyway, so our next game, arena number 14, was Phoenix. The Phoenix Suns at Talking Stick Resort Arena. And they were playing the Philadelphia 76ers. So, the Suns have something weird with their Jumbotron. They have the screens on their Jumbotron are surrounded by iPhones like this. So, this is the screen. Their screens are surrounded by iPhone things like this. It was weird. But the Suns were struggling in the first half of that game. But they actually came back and won. So after the Suns was the Minnesota Timberwolves. And there's a little bit of a story that goes with this game. Because we were supposed to see the Timberwolves play the Portland Trailblazers. However, at Target Center in Minneapolis. However, the past couple nights before we went to see the Timberwolves, there had been a college ice hockey tournament going on at Target Center. Which I don't understand because the Minnesota Wild play at XL Energy Center in St. Paul. So I don't know why the college ice hockey tournament didn't go on then. But, so since they had an ice hockey tournament, they had to control the temperature. So the next night when we went to the Timberwolves game, they could not get the condensation to stop. And the court just became so wet and so dangerous that they had to cancel and postpone the game. The first ever postponed game I have ever been to. So, we never actually got to see the game. So for me, it does not count. So me and my dad have to go back to Minnesota and see the Timberwolves. So after that canceled game, which I counted as maybe a half game, we saw the Milwaukee Bucks at Bradley Center, which I'm hoping we go back and see the Bucks again when their new arena is built. But the Bucks were playing the New York Knicks at BMO Harris Bradley Center, and the Bucks won that game. And the Bucks fans were Hello, unpredictable gamer. The Bucks fan base was pretty passionate too. Almost as passionate as the Raptors. It was close, actually. And then, after Milwaukee, thanks for subscribing. After Milwaukee, we drove to Chicago to see the Bulls. And the Rockets were playing the Bulls at United Center. And the Rockets shot the daylights out of the Bulls with 3-pointers. It wasn't even close. The Bulls got destroyed. And then American Airlines Arena down in Miami. This was before Dwayne Wade had gotten traded. But I actually remember the score of this game. It was Miami Heat against their in-state rivals, the Orlando Magic. And the finals, for a lot of the game, the Magic were winning and the Heat were struggling. But in the fourth quarter, Wayne Ellington came alive, hitting at least like 4 3-pointers, I think. And the Heat came back and won 107-89, and that crowd got really into it. So we've seen some really passionate fan bases. Each fan base that we've seen is unique, but right now, I would say the number one fan base we've seen is Toronto. They were into the game the Raptors fans were into the game the entire time, rooting on the Raptors. It was great. But all of the fan bases we've seen have been good so far. And as I said, arenas number 19 and 20 are the Philadelphia 76ers at Wells Fargo Center against the Charlotte Hornets. And then the Washington Wizards at Capital One Arena against the Indiana Pacers. So that's my arena recap portion. Now, on to my NBA thoughts and analysis. So, as you know, may or may not know, the NBA All-Star Game happened yesterday. And Kyrie Irving and LeBron James were on the same team. Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant were on the same team. So why do I call out those four names in particular? Well, because in 2015 and 16, Kyrie and LeBron were on the same team. And Kyrie and LeBron helped bring a championship back to Cleveland for the first time. But it was not the first championship in Cleveland, because Stipe Miocic had won the UFC heavyweight title before that, and then the Lake Erie Monsters, who are now the Cleveland Monsters, had won the Calder Cup championship before that. So the Cavaliers brought the first professional championship back to Cleveland, but not the first official championship. But anyway, so going into the 2018 season, Kyrie demanded to be traded. So the Cavs traded him to the Boston Celtics in exchange for Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, Ante Zizic, and the Brooklyn pick, which we now have traded Crowder and Isaiah Thomas. So I would say that trade was kind of a bust. But anyway, so LeBron and Kyrie were back on the same team. And then you had Durant and Westbrook. So in 2016, the Thunder, with both Durant and Westbrook, were up 3-1 against the Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. However, and this was the year the Warriors had won 73 games. So, and then Durant and Westbrook pretty much shut down, and the Warriors were able to come back and win that series, only to fall to us in 7 games. Go Cavs. But, so then Durant decides, you know what? I lost to the 73-win team. I'm going to join them. And that pissed off Westbrook. And honestly, it makes me upset too. Because I feel like Durant took the easy way out. And he won the title, so congratulations to him. Durant is still one of my favorite players, but I lost some respect for him after he went from Oklahoma City to Golden State. But I understand why he did. And my favorite player on the Warriors, I do have a favorite player on the Warriors, but it's not Steph Curry. It's actually Klay Thompson. Klay is one of the best three-point shooters I've ever seen. But it's not just that he's a great three-point shooter. It's that he plays defense. He's willing to guard guys like Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, Tony Parker. He's willing to guard the opponent's point guard. It's fantastic. He's a great two-way player. Similar to Kawhi Leonard, but in different ways. But I liked this new All-Star format. What they did was, instead of East and West, they did Team LeBron against Team Stephen, because LeBron James and Stephen Curry were the two highest vote getters in their respective conferences. So then they did the two of them, LeBron and Curry, and LeBron and Steph, did an untelevised draft, which I hope they show the All-Star draft next year when the All-Star game is in Charlotte. And I hope they bring the All-Star game to Cleveland soon. I would love to go to that. And the last time the All-Star game was in Cleveland was 1997. So, actually, on a side note, I know where they're bringing the All-Star game for the next 3 years. Charlotte in 2019, Chicago 2020, Indiana 2021. And I know where they're bringing the All-Star game for Major League Baseball for this season and next season. Washington Nationals Park this season, and then Progressive Field, home of the Cleveland Indians, next season. But anyway, back to the NBA All-Star Game. I'll actually touch on the MLB All-Star Game a little bit later. But the NBA All-Star Game, I love this new format. There was actually defense played. Team LeBron won because of a defensive play. Although it was Kevin Durant guarding Stephen Curry, which would never happen in real life because Curry, in Warriors practice, it's always Team Blue against Team Gold. So that would never happen. So on to the MLB All-Star Game. For the past couple seasons, the All-Star Game has been in a National League ballpark, going back to 2015, actually. Yeah, because, well, let me start at 2013. Or, no, let me go back to 2007. 2007, it was in San Francisco. 2008, it was at the old Yankee Stadium. 2009, it was at... Oh, geez. Where was the MLB All-Star Game in 2009? I don't remember. Let me look this up. Because I want to make sure I'm getting this right. 2009 MLB All-Star Game. 2009 MLB All-Star Game. Do you guys know where was the 2009 MLB All-Star Game? ...2009 MLB All-Star Game. Was it in Kansas City? Yeah, where though? Oh, no, the 2009 MLB All-Star Game was in St. Louis. Where was the 2010 All-Star Game? Was that Kansas City? No, 2010 All-Star Game was at the Angels. 2011 was Arizona. 2012 was Kansas City. 2013 was Citi Field where the Mets play. 2014 was Target Field where the Twins play. 2015 was Great American Ballpark where the Mets play. Or no, sorry, the Cincinnati Reds. 2016 was Marlins Park. Wait. 2014 was Target Field. 2015 MLB All-Star Game was Cincinnati. Where was the 2016 MLB All-Star Game? 2016 MLB All-Star Game was at Petco Park. So, Cincinnati, Petco, Miami, Washington. And during that span, in 2015, the National League was the home team. In 2016, even though it was in San Diego, American League was the home team. 2017, the National League was home team. So 2018, American League should be home team. So in 2019, when the Cleveland Indians host the MLB All-Star Game, I think the National League is going to be the home team, which is kind of weird. But I do like that the MLB removed the element of whoever wins the MLB All-Star Game, whichever league wins the MLB All-Star Game, that league hosts Game 1 and Game 2 of the World Series. That should be determined by record, which it is now. So that's going to wrap it up for now. This is Unger to the Max, signing off. Salute, go Cavs, and go Jackets. Hope you guys enjoyed this sports vlog, and I will see you guys next time.